supervisors to be here in attendance in case there's any questions, but also because they're intimately knowledgeable about what we've done here over the past years. So we've been on this for a number of weeks now. Since we noticed that the roadway was giving way, the guardrail was starting to disappear going down the creek. We had a lot of rains. We had unusually wet spring and a lot of rain events. And started making the road disappear. And it's been in Cochran's hands now for a while to evaluate with the cores that were taken, so down to 100 feet, both of them. Evaluated the materials that came back up, and they came up with a couple of possible solutions. And I'll turn it over to Brad and Mike here.
Can I ask one question on that? Going down 100 feet, did you hit bedrock?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So we drilled 2 borings. So the first went down 77 feet, hit rock, and then the second was 101 feet, hit rock. Boring 1 was roughly right about here, boring 2. There you go.
Thank you.
Sure. So when you're trying to figure out slope stability, you're looking at the driving forces on the slope itself. Just let's see gravity and any surcharge loads on top. Then you're trying to see, okay, well, what do we have that's resisting? You want to have your resisting forces about 1.5 times as much as the driving force, just as a factor of safety. That's what I've got here on this first. I think that's the first line in there. That is off shot. The reason that is so big is just there's a lot of driving forces, and you're just trying to come up with enough mass to hold all that back. On the second one, it's much smaller cross section, so that base on there, that's a 6-foot wide shot rock base. The yellow portion, that's lightweight concrete. So what that does is that takes away the driving forces because it's so light. And it's also really, really strong. So that also gives you some of the passive resisting forces. The issue though with the yellow, that's lightweight concrete, it's lighter than water. So you have to have drains there. You should probably tie that down.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
That need to have.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So would it be foundations under that, or would it just be piers going down?
Yeah, I was thinking more just some tiebacks, something of that nature. So the lightweight concrete, that is a proprietary product made by Elastisol. So they'll have some ideas for spacing and tiebacks and what that would look like.
When you're talking about augering something back into
Just there's the soil.
into the soil.
Yeah.
Some sort of, I don't know what kind of a link,
Kind of like a screw anchor.
screw anchor or something in there.
Yeah.
Going back.
Yep.
Here's again, this is a question. Obviously, the stuff that we have there has failed, and continues to sink.
Yes.
What makes us believe if we estimate that out and we put back lightweight concrete that doesn't
Continue. Well, other than the calculations I've done here, that's really just the engineering there.
What caused?
Who caused it? It's hard to say.
Excessive.
My guess would just be rain, because as the mass of soil gets wet, 2 things happen. The pore water pressures increase, that sort of sort of pushes the apart as a soil part, so it gets weaker and also gets heavier too. It's got all that water in there now. So a couple things here. We have drains in there that will take care of the water issue. So you're not going to have just soil just sitting there, just getting lighter over time, but just heavier and heavier and weaker. So that takes care of that. The shot rock base, that's really good for drainage too. So that's another good thing.
This diagram with this lightweight concrete, you're talking, is that 12 feet roughly?
It's about 12 feet tall. Got 29 feet wide there.
30 feet wide, 12 foot tall,
Yep.
and for what length?
Pretty much the entire slide. So I think it's 290 feet.
It's about 320,
Okay.
somewhere around there.
So yeah, I mean, it's roughly about 2,000 yards of concrete there.
All right, the next question, it's lightweight concrete cost per yard on
I don't
the.
know yet. I reached out to Lansdale, but they're working on that now for me to get a cost on that, because yeah, that's gonna be a big drive.
It's like a more expensive option than the shop
I
rock.
don't know. The shot rock section is so large, there's gonna be so much excavation there, that's gonna increase costs, so I don't know yet. That's why I've got two different options there, just to try to see which one is cheaper, which one is better for constructability.
Are you just talking about like air and trade concrete or we?
Kinda, yeah, it's a proprietary thing, so I don't know what all the details there, but.
Is it more of a flowable fill, is like that, something similar to that?
Kind of, yeah, where flowable fill is more of just a really clean concrete. This does have a lot of air thrown in there, yeah,
That's why I actually jumped in.
but it's similar, yes.
When we went out to the site, this kind of addresses it, this one not so much. We seen subsiding and slippage, probably 80% of that pavement
Oh, yeah, yep,
back.
yep,
Not as bad.
So we're gonna have to excavate this anyway. So why
yep,
wouldn't
yep,
we
absolutely.
backfill that with something, like the shop behind, if we went to lightweight concrete,
Well, you could, yes,
something that would make it a little bit.
yes, absolutely, yes, yeah, I mean, that'll increase the factor safety, probably above 0.6 or so, but yeah,
You
sure,
have to excavate it anyway.
yep,
But then I'm gonna refer to it as a.
sure.
You put that on the below it or on the side or top?
Usually both. Yeah.
Oh, I agree with what Ken said. There's a lot in the area that this shows it's slipping and sinking right now.
Yep.
Well, kind of like what you're kind of showing right through there. That's pretty.
Yeah, and then I guess there too, so the star, so the furthest one back is that guy, then the closest one is that guy, so all of that is all disturbed, so all that has to come out. And my thought there was, well, they can put all that soil back and compact it lifts, and then the concrete there in front, then the shot rock in front of that. Well,
So you hold that slope, I'm just asking, on this lightweight concrete, how are we gonna hold that slope?
Good question, and I don't know the answer to that. That's gonna be more of a contractor thing. I mean, it could just be, they have two of this section.
Do the
20 feet at a time. That is not ideal, but if you have a soil failure, there's no real good way to fix it. Other than, it's just trying to do everything in section to small as you can, but not too small, so it takes forever, but the problem though is if you'll the entire thing once, go to induce more slides, and that's not what we don't want.
I talked to an engineer, his idea was to pier that. Go out here on the bank,
Yeah, you can
go
put it,
down into bedrock, get into the bedrock. With some steel piers or something like that, and make a wall that's anchored in the bedrock.
you could do that. I can't imagine that's gonna be cheaper. It's probably gonna be a lot more expensive than this. But even if you piered, you still have to excavate all the slide mass out. Can't just build on top of that just because it's plush, not completely buildable of its current oil. Yeah, if you had to go down to a lot.
If you, and then this is, so what you're saying in sections, you would want, let's just say 40 feet, you would take a section of 40 feet, you would excavate that. You would, I'm just trying to envision, maybe you would put your shot rock, couple of feet of shot rock, wall, and then pour your couple of feet of concrete, then just work your way up, and then you would have to, you know, is that kind of what you're envisioning if you were doing it that? I don't see how else you would do that.
Yeah, it's really difficult to make something like this. So that's what they're at. Yeah.
You just have to start in the middle and work both ways.
Yeah.
Go back, each direction.
Probably, yes, yeah.
Or you got to start on one end and work it from, work backwards.
Right.
That's you're talking about
Another cheap adoption.
the shot rock.
Anytime you get into construction, that's a little, I don't want to say questionable. You gotta be more creative. You're paying for that. Every contractor got
Because it's risk there on the contractor. Yep.
a lot of bracing, a lot of,
Probably some temporary shortage to get the concrete in.
and it's just something they don't do. So they're, it's charged more for the reason. But where you see the MoDOT uses this shot a lot to do better. Their states. State.
How deep is this? 33 feet? No, this is from here, from the road surface down to the shop, the shop. What is our?
The top was 493.
Or 70.
I think we're. Don't have three glasses, I'm so sorry.
It's 470.
What was your question?
Yes, please, thank you very much.
What is the length of shop?
Yes.
Yeah.
47,
23 feet.
3, yeah.
23 feet.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it varies, little trackers on a lot of it, here, 20 some feet. And then when you're digging down, you might find some. And you go a little further.
That's right, yep.
Got a question for you. Did you guys, while you were doing this, did you by chance go further on the highway? There's two other spots on Highway 100 where the slippage is going on. This is before I was on the commission, so I don't know who was about it. But that was repaired, and it's already, you go up and look at it, stand on top of it, look down, it's already
Starting to fail.
pretty bad.
Okay.
So,
How long ago was that? You have any idea?
I don't know, Jim, you might know.
From what I've heard, that was,
It's on that inside turn, you know which one? I'm
yes,
referring to.
yes. And there's about a 30-foot shoulder that goes to the edge of the wall, and they have a segmented concrete wall in there.
Does the wall start to bulge itself?
But there is,
It's lean,
Wall is starting to lean on.
and that's my question, how was that repaired?
Don't know. That's.
yeah, I have no idea how it was repaired, but that was in 2012.
Okay.
It was 2012. Those were before Ryan.
Any idea if there was a sign on that? That was,
Well, but I'm leaning at it, it's however it was repaired. It doesn't look like-
does not seem to be.
Don't do that process.
Oh, no,
Maybe I'll get
Where we did that.
Yeah.
Was that done by our people?
That was done by our people.
That was done in-house.
And I think it was just a build technical design.
So it was just a-
At the time, that wall was actually leaning like that immediately after installing it.
Really?
We tried to tell them that wasn't gonna work quite right, but
Has it stopped?
it's,
I guess.
It hasn't moved much since
Oh,
it started. It was just when we backfilled it, it started to lean a little bit because we
It
did.
stopped and then it came to an equilibrium.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
I don't know what kind of lines is left in that. That's gonna be our next issue. If that goes, Highway 100 is gonna spend time with it.
Well, it could have been bad showing from the start. And back over, but you said it hasn't moved much.
Where's this at, Paul?
It's just east, about, what you say,
Oh,
half a mile from the east,
it's right before you get to St. John,
from this, for this.
From this to that?
this west.
I'm just doing some, back of the matchbook math on the amount of rock here. And I may be a little off, but it's like 6,500 yards. That's 220 feet by 23 feet.
That sounds,
So if that's computed to tons,
12,000, 13,000.
yeah, and then what's our per price per shot?
$6.50.
But the hauling, but that's,
Oh,
we do the hauling.
Yeah, we do the $6.50.
So I was thinking, you're gonna have 120,000 probably close in just shot rock, not excavate. First of all, you're gonna have to excavate, haul off, and get rid of that material. So that just gives you, I'm just doing back the math here, the matchbook stuff. You're trying to get a rough estimate doing. I mean, do we have what's the biggest excavator? What kind of excavator do we have?
160.
We don't.
We don't have big enough machine.
Yeah, you would need a long reach probably for that,
Probably
bigger than
300.
300 class machine. So you're thinking the contractor would have to do the excavation?
Which I think they would do it much more efficiently.
Would we do the hauling or would we have that?
Again, we're in a position where it would be more prudent to have the contractor just take it as a turnkey sort of operation. They can coordinate all the hauling, and they have the resources. If they need 20 trucks today, they can do that. They can arrange that. I can't do that.
Where's that gonna go? Where are you gonna send all those materials to?
Place and high demand.
You're gonna need a pretty good dump site.
I have no comments on.
There was a parcel of ground on the other going around to New 100 that they were filling for a while. I don't know if that's still active, but there are a couple of farms up the road. We could approach them and see if they would like that material.
You know,
Well-
where the wildlife club is there, just down near that bridge, that's kind of a something, right? I don't know. who owns that now.
I get a real problem if we have to put anything within flood. I would not be able to. So anything we take out is fine. Because the stuff we're putting in is going into a floodplain, but we're taking out. an
We
equal
just
amount.
be transferring it from.
Right.
Well,
But
but we're filling in the other shot
I
rock,
can't-
so it'd be a plus in the floodplain.
the stuff I dig out of here to dispose of, I can't put that. Which I've got to put it on the truck anyway, so I can haul it the other way and go up to, the Geiser farm or something like that.
Well, and obviously I think the concrete, the likely concrete, route is gonna be expensive and more time consuming
Probably, yes, probably.
than shot rock.
Mike, are you as confident with the shot rock as you are?
Absolutely, yep, yep. 100%, yes.
But you still put drains in the shot rock? Still put a drain system in?
No, I might just to kind of cover us, but I mean, it's also hot rock as it is.
Pretty porous.
Yeah, so yeah, it's not a huge concern. Yeah. But just good practice, yes.
Another issue we had discussed before the meeting here. The property that's just to the north of the steel factory, their parking lot slopes away from this, but it's a hard surface. So we may want to look at maybe connecting their storm sewer up and running it up to the creek. So if any water impounds in that parking lot, it's gonna go right out to the creek instead of going all the way around the building. And it's just, it may help, in the long run to prevent something from, saturating the clay.
If you were to just guesstimate, I mean, I'm not asking for a solid number, but, what do you think the overall costs? Now, would we have a contractor, would we put the road back after we get the road service? Would we pay that or have that paid, in the process?
I probably would ask that as an
Is it probably an
option,
option? Yeah.
have them pay it, instead of us.
You think 400,000,
I think all in, it's probably gonna be close to 500.
500?
You know, if the rock's gonna be delivered to the site, if that's gonna be
Including,
putting the rock's 150,000, the excavating is gonna be $100,000. Put the rock back in the hole. That's gonna be 85,000. You got some excavation in there, all digging stuff out. I think you're gonna be around that 500.
Yeah.
Or thereabouts. I mean, it's a big number, but it's a big problem. And we need a solution. You can't close the road.
Let's both try that.
Why
But it-
why not?
Just,
Right now.
why not? I think you'd have a lot of pushback from a lot of taxpayers.
Because there's access to both ends, pretty close to 100 MoDOTs.
And again, I'm not saying that we would do it, but I mean, there could be a lot of savings. The MoDOT, so, you know, to that bridge, they're gonna replace that bridge, they're gonna donate it back to the county, I mean, that's gonna be several million for that.
I even approached MoDOT about that, just leaving the bridge as is, just putting lightweight temporary surface on that and leaving. And then we close the road permanently, and they would certainly be fine with it. But practically, it would not fly with the taxpayers and residents in the area, because they,
how many residents do we have on the road from the Cochran Bridge up to St. John's Road? Do you have any idea? I'm gonna guess about 10 or 12.
So I thought kind of 30
yeah, probably close to 20, round number.
driveways.
But if you do that, those 20 people are gonna say, well, the response time for emergency services is gonna be longer than what I would have expected.
They're not gonna be unreasonable, but they're, you know,
Yeah.
but it's gonna be, obviously, it's not gonna be not a popular thing right now. I mean, they're dealing with it right now.
And then you have the school district.
Well, they get
The school district is as big a concern as the residents, because
Well, I think that's a conversation that we may have to continue to kick the bat around a little bit. Is getting, again, we had to quantify some costs, and, you know, and a solution, and we've got some solutions here in front of us.
back through their kitchen sheet.
Yeah, going back to saving for 1 second, on the cost. Why would you want to have them pay it, not our guys pay?
I would just like them to give me a number, and we can take an option, you know, if they're there working anyway. And they can get it done for less than us, and they give us a price for that.
Yeah, they might be competitive if they're there on site, you know.
If we look at the time of year, we might be really tied up on other projects,
Vacancies.
but at least we would have that option. And my thought process is now we get this, we're talking about doing the shot rock. Now we can look at doing a scope and then preparing documents to go up to proposals so we can get hard numbers, see where we go from here.
Who have we seen in the past that we had a project similar to this? Well, anybody local? Anybody who's around here that would take on projects like this?
MoDOT just had a very similar situation on Highway W, south of Eureka. And they ended up doing the shot rock solution. And they used Gerson's
Versus
to do that. We have a local contractor that has expressed an interest in it.
It's like KJU, but had a chance.
KJ.
Okay.
And they have the machines that are capable of doing it. There are other contractors.
understalled. I don't know if they sewer contractors, but I don't think that's big excavators. I just think, okay.
How long ago was that put up project, do you know about?
They just opened up Highway W about 3 weeks,
I'd like
4 weeks ago.
here, well, I'd like to see this, good, see the scope. In a similar project,
They do.
yeah, we'll just see how they bid it out.
It'll be public, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to give us some idea if we're on target for what we're thinking, but.
Everyone loves those.
That'd be-
I do.
Mike's office is up in Wentzville, and they have a lot of brown.
Yeah, we do.
We'll put a roundabout in there. We'll put a roundabout on the other side of the bridge. So that doesn't make a U-turn. It's still right. They're gonna go back.
That's type three.
Don't mind that,
Well, if it's all right with you, we'll go ahead and develop a scope on this and come up with some ideas as far as quantities and costs. And we'll go to the MoDOT unit cost numbers and see where they are. And we can kind of back into those also with what we know what the available material is and what we pay for the material. See where we're at. There's another contractor here in St. Clair that is capable of.
Do you know if we have any older ADT numbers for that roadway section? Just give us an idea of how much use there actually is on that road. For sort
You guys probably have as much access to that.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, we can find that. We'll find.
That's on.
MoDOT should have that. They should,
Well,
because
we
they
have that on the bridge
have the bridge. They should have that for the bridge.
in Curtisville.
They should be able to tell us. what
I have that
traffic
downstairs.
Could be, yeah.
Well, my guess is if MoDOT decides they want to do the bridge, it's probably the traffic required. Is that where you're going?
I don't know what the thought process is.
Well, I mean, it's not why you're asking.
No, I'm just-
We should-
Just to get an idea how much use is this for. Heavily used.
Well, it's obviously, like I said, it's not a good political issue when it comes down to closing down roads, but
There's a school.
Yeah.
Most,
Well, I mean, I agree. Everything's a good idea like this until you start asking people to pay for it.
Then it gets a little dicey.
Yeah, then the idea starts getting more questions. But I just, cost wise. I guess basically there's the juice worth the squeeze and the road was there, so it's not like it's putting something new.
we're not doing the road to nowhere.
Right.
Necessarily,
And the rest of the road's in pretty good shape.
except you said there's an exception. The bridge and then down the road, you said there's a retaining wall.
But the other,
Actually, there's two.
But those would probably have to continue anyway, because there's probably. But even if there's a problem down there somewhere, it's still you're gonna have to have access.
I think we owe it to the taxpayers of the county to look at every, you know, every possibility.
Been trying to get the best value for the dollar, right? Very good. Well, find out ways to get that.
all right. We'll take it to you.
We need a motion for that.
Thank you, Mr. Dunny, for
Absolutely.
an explanation.
Thank you. I do what I can. Thanks.
So you're also a contractor?
Oh, yes, sir. Yep.
It's the geoengineer.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Rollins.
No, Washington, Lumsel. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I know. Sorry. Went to school tonight.
It's an institution of for what the law school.
Oh, okay, well, see, there you go. Thank you. That explains it.
Oh.
Okay, okay. Nice. Okay. Good, good. All right. Need more on the board, so yeah.
Yeah, well, if there's nothing else, we'll move on.
Joe Feldman, or others.
Take a big. There you go. Pocket.
Just start hitting the buttons.
That's what happened.
As a side issue, we had a meeting yesterday with FEMA regarding spring creek. That went well. They went through all of the process of how all the forms are going to be filled out and going forward and all our funding.
All right.
That's all going very smoothly.
They're ready to write the check.
It's real close. It's the federal government. They're here to help.
Thanks, Joe. Thank you, guys.
That's you guys. Yeah.
See you.